Boundaries. I love the subject of boundaries. I was in my mid-30s in my second marriage, already with a PhD in marriage and family therapy before I ever heard of boundaries. Excuse me. And the way I heard about them is I'd started working with a new therapist. And our very first session, she got a string out and laid it on the ground and talked to me about boundaries and did this little practice with me where I got on one side and she got on the other and she crossed and came into my bound. And I don't know if she did that with every client in their first session or if she thought this guy needs the boundary lesson. So I'd never heard of boundaries before. And there's good reason. Most adults haven't. Going back to things we've been talking about. When we're children, we're little, we're dependent, we're needy, we're small, we're not powerful. The big people can do whatever they want to the little people. And, so we just grow up where, mom and dad, they can yell at you, they can spank you, they can hit you, they can ground you, they can put you in the corner, they can do whatever they want. Your older siblings, they can do whatever they want. The big kids in the neighborhood, they can do whatever they want. The teachers can do whatever they want. The priests can do whatever they want. The police can do whatever everybody's bigger, more powerful. So every human being grows up not knowing, oh, I can say, no, stop. I don't like that. I'm going to remove myself now. Or if you do that again, we're done. We don't learn that because no one teaches us that. And so we grow up to be adults with little kids inside of us thinking we have to go along to get along, or, we just think we got to tolerate it, or, maybe we get combative about it, but we don't know how to set conscious boundaries that actually invite people to higher consciousness. And we think as we learn about boundaries, they're about pushing people away. And because some people treat them like we're pushing them away. The truth is boundaries allow us to let people get close to us. Because if we don't have personal boundaries, we either do have to just build walls between us and people, withdraw completely from people, or just let people do to us whatever they do and we just suffer through it. So those aren't good options. Boundaries let us decide who comes into our space, what they get to do while they're in there. Can they bring Carl's Jr.'s or Big Macs into our space? How long they get to stay in our space, when it's time for them to leave our space. We get to decide that. That's that adult decider again. That's maturity. Okay. So boundaries let people get close to us. Now, when I was, working as a marriage therapist years ago in private practice, I would, couples would come to me and I would teach them about boundaries. I usually start with the guy. And especially if he's a nice guy, and I do the string on the ground thing, and I teach him about saying no and stop and having a boundary. And I can't tell you how many times I'm teaching the guy about boundaries, and the woman would applaud, and the guy looks over and goes, "You mean you want me to stand up to you, dear?" And she goes, "Yeah, I don't want to be married to a little boy I can walk all over." And she goes, "Yeah, and like my ex used to say, if you can't stand up to me, how can I know you'll ever stand up for me?" They're security-seeking creatures. They've been wired to expect their man to provide and protect. Now, can they provide and protect for themselves in most cases? Yeah, but they still feel vulnerable. Ask any woman if she feels safe walking in her neighborhood alone, let alone at night, even in the daytime, right? So they feel vulnerable, and they're going to feel safer if they know we're boundaried, okay? So I tell the guy, as she's applauding, saying, "Of course I want you to stand up to me." I say, "She's telling you the truth. She does want you to stand up to her." But I said, the first time you set a boundary with her, she's going to try to push through it. And you're going to go, "Dear, I thought you said you wanted me to set boundaries." And she's going to say, "I do, just not this one. I want my way on this one." But I said, she's got to test your boundaries to know if she can trust them. She just has to. In kind of manosphere talk, the dating world talk, there's something called shit tests. And guys hate shit tests, because we think they're like shitty things to do. But I always tell guys, a shit test is not shitty behavior. A shit test is a test of, do you have your shit together? Right? That's what the woman's wanting to trust. And a woman won't shit test a man that she doesn't have some degree of interest in. I mean, they won't give us the time of day if they don't care. But if they care, they got a shit test. And so a couple examples that I use. If we are their emotional security system, if that's wired into them by Mother Nature and evolution through 1.5 million years, which I believe it is, they're going to look to us for a sense of security. Now, to test your security system, you do have to test it. I give an example. I bought a BMW after I got divorced 20-something years ago. And I lived in a neighborhood, a little bit of a rough neighborhood, and I parked the car out on the street. And after a week or so, I thought, I need to get an alarm system for that car. So I took it back to the dealer and they put an alarm in it. And I drove it home, parked it on the street in front of my apartment building. And I thought, cool, I got an alarm. I got a little blue blinking light on the dash. And I go, I don't know if it works. So I thought I got to find out because I don't know if it works. I don't know if I can trust my security system. So okay. So I rocked the car and it went beep, beep, beep. I'm happy. My security system worked. So, a week or two later, nothing's happened. Nothing, no alarms have gone off. And I thought, I haven't heard the alarm for a week or two. Wonder if it still works. I don't know. And if I don't know, I don't have security. So I go out, unlock it, climb inside, arm it, and then I wave my arms around to test the motion detector. Beep, 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 beep. I'm happy. My alarm system worked. So I had to test it. I had to know. Okay. So think about this. A woman, this could be a woman you're just talking to, first time you ever met her. She may start testing. I've had that happen. First date. I've had women test me on first dates often. Long-term relationship. They got to test you if we are their security system, emotional security system. So think that you are their castle and they are the damsel inside the castle. The castle's got its walls, it's got the moat, it's got, all the whatever the protections are in a castle. Outside the castle is the marauding horde. They're raping, they're pillaging, they're setting all on fire, they're taking the women and, carrying them off and then using and abusing them. She knows that's out there. You're the only thing standing between her and the marauding horde. So she knows they're coming. She can hear them. She can smell the flames burning. She hears the noise. She hears the yelling and the screaming. She's got to know, can I trust my castle, my security system? She's going to get a broomstick. She's going to go around poking joists, poking window joint, poking door jambs, poking the mortar in between the bricks. She's poking, looking for any gaps, any vulnerability. She has to know where her vulnerabilities are, where they could get through. And that's what she's doing with us. She's poking until she finds the vulnerabilities, the soft spots, the little boy reactions, the can't depend and can't trust him, can't stand up to her responses. And as soon as she hits one, she's got to poke it again and again. And if it keeps getting that, I can't trust that response, she'll either keep poking it till it gets a solid response, or she'll probably just turn around and walk away and either go protect herself or go find another security system. Okay. That's why if they are our Bermuda Triangle, we got to be their Rock of Gibraltar. That's why we got to be that alarm in the BMW. We got to be. Now, that doesn't mean we got to be perfect. Women get that. They don't expect perfection, but they do expect some degree of self-awareness that if they hit a soft, vulnerable spot, we can, even if we have a reaction the first time around, the second time they go, that's a soft spot. I need to work on that one. And hopefully they see us go out and start working on that soft spot. Maybe we go get our tribe of men and we start, working on learning how to ground ourselves and soothe ourselves and get more honest and more transparent and just hold on to ourselves when we feel challenged. Set the boundaries, right? We learn those skill sets and they're going to feel safer. The stronger we are, the more consistent we are, the more powerful we are, the more boundaried we are, the safer they're going to feel. Now they can open. Now then they can submit. I get that's an evil word, but they want to. They want to open and submit to our strength. That doesn't submit like, okay, you're the boss, you're in charge. It submits so they can, experience the bliss of being penetrated into the depths of feminine bliss by our presence, our consciousness, everything about us. They want to relax and open into our strength, but they got to test our strength first before they can relax and open into it. They're in their masculine all day long. They're in charge of everything all day long. They want to come home to us and just breathe and relax. Now, they won't do it on their own. They may test us a time or two when they walk in the door. I had one girlfriend. I met her. She told me she was at Nordstrom. And we used to meet her at a Roos. I used to meet her at a Roos Chris Ruth's Chris restaurant in the mall where she worked, and they had a good happy hour. So she'd get off work at 5 o'clock. I'd already be in the bar. They had a good hamburger and a good glass of wine, baseball on the TV. She liked baseball too. She'd come in and she'd be, "Yeah, you don't know about my day. My manager this, my customers this, all right, my coworkers this." I'd take my phone out, set it on the bar, set a timer for 5 minutes. I say, "You got my undivided attention for 5 minutes. Tell me about your shitty day." Then we're going to be done. We're going to have a glass of wine. We're going to have a great burger. We're going to watch a baseball game. She couldn't even go 5 minutes because she didn't want to. She wanted to be done. I created the container. I'd listen to her, wouldn't fix it, but she could get it all out because she would rather be having fun and relax into a good glass of wine, a good cheeseburger, and a good baseball game. Right? She didn't want to be in a bad mood all night. But I had to create that container in order to lead her to where she wanted to just open and relax. Right? I couldn't just wait for that to happen on its own. She could have gone all night if I didn't, put it in the container. So that was a loving thing for me to do. Kind of going back to, if you can't stand up to me, how can you stand up for me? So we've got to develop those strengths and skill sets. And guess what? The feminine is going to be our best teacher. The feminine is going to be the storm. It's going to be the earthquake. It's going to be the thunder and lightning. It's going to be the Bermuda Triangle. It's our testing ground. It's our masculine initiation. It's where we do get to learn to be strong and grounded and that rock in the hurricane.
Amazing. So it's set up boundaries and then hold them up
and plan on them getting tested in all kinds of creative ways. Oh, they get creative because they have to. Just like one time I rocked the car. Next time I waved my hands. You got to test it in different ways. Come at it from different angles.